Hey people, hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. Today I wanted to offer my top 10 theories about No, I'm Not a Human. First of all, I feel that there is content missing from the game or purposefully left up to interpretation of the viewer. This game is meant to play on what you think you know, so anyone's take can be valid. However, I do believe that a lot of the theory channels which are making content on the game take a lot of what unreliable narrators say at face value. What I mean by this, they will generally take the broadcast from the television, the radio and the randomised visitors at face value. Almost 90% of the people within this setting are likely legally insane or lying or visitors themselves. There will be spoilers for the game. I've noticed that one thing in the visitors that seem oblivious or naive, such as the cashier girl or Big Mama or the Catwoman, always mention dying to a sudden solar flare and then awakening. Listening to the little girl, you hear that her father stood up after he was killed. I consider her testimony reliable as she's always guaranteed to be a human. Maybe not necessarily crawled from out of the ground, but perhaps fresh corpses as well. This would explain the inconsistencies with their hands. Multiple humans and visitors will claim that they think they are undead. When humans are killed, they're in multiple bags, which assumes the character or someone chops them into pieces for easier disposal, which seems like a better precaution than burning them for them coming back alive, and no one tells the player to do so. It also is said that the visitors move after they die. Another thing that sort of backs this theory is the twins. One of them can be a visitor and one of them cannot be, which implies that at some point one of them was a human. In the moments before being shot, a majority of the visitors will cry out to death itself or worship death in some manner. This isn't a great signifier that they are visitors, though, as humans also worship death in this setting. When you dig yourself underground and confront death itself, one could suppose that the entity beneath your home is in control of the visitors. The visitors may also take great interest in your house due to the proximity of such an entity. Also left up to interpretation if this is you becoming a visitor yourself. This may explain why visitors who know of their killings experience no guilt, as they see it as some kind of divine purpose. It's implied through conversations that the player can have, as well as the descriptions of the furniture in the house, that the player character was abused by his father and has inherited the house after his untimely demise. He was also previously married, with his wife somehow disappearing also. It's left to the player's imagination as to how these people died or disappeared, but a strong theory is he perhaps murdered them both, as other characters within the game imply that there is a strong stench of death coming from the house, regardless if the player has killed during the course of the game. What is safe to say though is he is not a visitor yet. However, based on the photo with the vigilante, he may be turning into one, as his photo goes from safe to suspicious. In an ending cut from the full release, if you keep visitors in your home, the protagonist will not be killed, but in fact wake up one day with everyone in the house dead, human or visitor. It's implied when visitors kill, they're not aware of it as per se. If any of this is canon, it's up for debate. I'm on the side that the visitor killed to infect, and this was a scrapped idea. Going over all the randomised tests, the only one that's 100% certain to determine if someone is a visitor is if they fail the ear test. Every other test I've seen, visitors can falsify the results. This means, to me at least, that the more experienced visitors are aware of what FEMA are broadcasting and taking precautions. When you call the FEMA hotline, it's confirmed a visitor on the other end of the line, giving tips on how to avoid failing tests. And he is unaware of the ear test, as it was told to you by a hijacked broadcast. Whether or not this means that the visitors are bugs that take control of your mind or not is yet to be determined, though the theorist, whom which can be a visitor himself, says that they are. It is said that the FEMA burn the bodies of their visitors as well as the sun. By all accounts, the disfigured firefighter suits the description of a visitor with no skin outfit, perhaps to lead you to rightfully be suspicious of him. It's also partially confirmed by the guest that the widowed woman's husband's corpse is that of a visitor, ergo his ghoulish appearance. When looking at the old lady, the cashier girl, as well as the pale man, there's unnatural folds of their body that implicate that they add flesh to their skeleton. Some visitors, I believe, are fresh and don't need to do this, but others seem to have some form of mask or persona to hide their true form. They'll intuitively act out this personality as well. As mentioned previously, the FEMA hotline seems to be designed to inform visitors on how to hide better. According to the injured guy, the widowed woman, and the others, they place visitors and humans in a massive quarantine zone where the visitor likely kill the human and infect them. This could perhaps be determined as they are trying not to quarantine the visitors but breed them. FEMA, as powerful as they seemingly are, even with airtight security, are not safe from body snatchers, especially with their suits, which you cannot determine what is underneath. However, with the ex-FEMA agent being guaranteed a human, this leaves you up to assume that there are humans within their ranks, or they outcast him due to being a human. The guests they require are 100% fodder for visitors, either to satiate or breed them. There is a cannibalistic entity referenced in dialogue and also witnessed out of the window on the 12th day. If this is a visitor or not is left up to interpretation. It is said that this is what the blind man witnessed to lead him to taking his eyes and eventually game ending himself in Minecraft. The player can meet a potential visitor and have a child with them. This is considered a momentous event which leads to some fever dream like sequence of events which determine you like a messiah. All I can say from this is visitors can reproduce, and at that with humans. If the player has 2 or more visitors within his house when the pale man arrives, he can sense the presence and allow himself in, even if you tell him you're not alone. There seems to be some degree of information transfer between the infected. It's hinted by the immortal guy that the visitors die, they are simply reincarnated into a new vessel. He is weird if anything though. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's quite difficult to get correct info and recordings for this game. I currently make enough views for monetization, however I do not have enough subscribers. I'm mainly a general channel so you won't know what's coming next, but I do cover a lot of indie games. Even if it's just this temporary thing, I'd love if you'd subscribed. Other than that, glad I could help and I hope you have a lovely day.